All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Blind View. We're only 2 days out from Halloween, so consider this our Halloween episode. And here is our host, Miss Rebecca Meadows.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be here. We have four wonderful people with us tonight. How is everybody?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
So, can
doing well.
everybody So that was Paul, and then
Hi there.
Anya, and then Lori,
Good
and
evening,
Brandon.
everybody. I will try to hide my things as best I can for the majority of the episode.
Did you say you're going to hide your things for the majority of the episode?
I will do my best. I mean, they might peek out from time to time, but fortunately, our viewers are behind screens. And my belly is pretty full for the time being, so everyone is safe for the time at least.
So, Brandon, what things are you going to keep from poking out? I'm kind of concerned here.
I mean, anybody that knows me knows that I like my steaks a little pink in the middle, a little bit bloody, So, yeah.
I was confused. I thought you was trying to hide a smell is what I was confused about.
Oh, is that what you
No. Lie does wonders. Lie does wonders. I mean, rapidly accelerates decomposition. So.
I see.
Oh.
I see.
You already had dinner this early? It's not even 5. I mean, barely 5 in Arizona.
Rebecca, here's your reminder.
Glad
Alexa, stop.
I would call it dinner, but others might be a little bit more squeamish and hesitant to call it that. But we all have our hang-ups and proclivities.
Alexa, stop.
I haven't had dinner yet. I'm still at work.
Oh, I got you.
Alexa, stop. My goodness. I'm sorry, you guys.
I borrow this room far away from the front. It's
I haven't had dinner yet
a
myself.
nice spot to come
either.
hang.
What did you
Yeah.
say,
Okay.
Pat?
I was just saying that I haven't had dinner yet either. So, does anybody want to get started with their topic, or can I bring up my topic? I don't want to be a hog. I don't want to hog the floor. Does anybody want to go first?
Well, you're the host of the show. I think you should start.
Okay, so I want to talk about the ongoing government shutdown and the ramifications
I hope you can
thereof.
see me on this thing. I've got it sideways. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, we can see you, Lori. Thank you.
The
Lori,
Schumer
did
shutdown.
Yeah, the Schumer shutdown. And I was watching the news today, and they were saying that this Saturday is going to be the first time that people miss their food stamps. That food stamps don't go out. So, how does everybody feel about that?
Now let me just say though, see, because here's something interesting that I discovered, or that I was told by Gemini. So, but it said, as soon as you launch Gemini and it gives its first response, there is a disclaimer that says Gemini can make mistakes, so double check it. But I heard that in Arizona, for example, the state where I reside, we may not be too badly affected by that. But right, to hear the news though, like you said, Becca, it seems like at the federal level at least, yeah, we are running dangerously close to that becoming a reality.
Well, they keep talking it up on the news, but honestly, we all know that our media and our government, they try to scare us with scare tactics like this, right? So honestly, I really don't know how much it's really affecting everyday Americans' lives. I know our politicians want us all to be stressed out and concerned
Is Gino
about it,
nearby?
and the media does. What did you say,
Is he
Lori?
there?
Is who here? Lori, who are you looking for?
Gino?
Gino is not part of the show. He's the administrator of the show. Okay. So, Lori, do you want to discuss anything about the ongoing government shutdown? How do you feel about it?
Brandon?
What?
Yes, ma'am, I hear you.
You should have delays again.
Lori, can you hear us? Lori, can
I
you
have
answer
this
me?
sideways. I don't know what else to do with this.
Oh my God. Lori, do you have anything to say about the ongoing government shutdown?
Is Becca having trouble? Is that what's the matter?
Lori, can you hear me? gosh, not again. We're not going to be able to have her on the show anymore, you
What's
guys.
so funny?
Ridiculous.
No,
Lori, can you hear me?
It's so Becca is talking, Lori, but it's almost. I guess you can't hear her. I'm assuming you can hear
No.
me. Okay.
Yeah,
But,
we-
Yes.
but I think she heard Anya.
Yeah,
I don't know,
you can
do
hear
you-
Anya and Brandon, but you can't appear to hear Becca, which I'm not
No.
Weird.
super sure why that is.
I don't understand that.
it's some kind of delay because I was laughing for obviously what was happening. And Lori says, "What's funny?" Like she obviously didn't hear what was happening before.
Maybe
But
it's
I'm
she's
so
because-
sorry.
She seems like she hears you guys,
No, I
though.
could not hear Becca.
I don't. Yeah, we're gonna have to do something else on future shows, I think. 'Cause
Maybe it's
this
a
just isn't
firewall
working.
issue. Maybe.
Oh, now
What?
that's something I didn't even think about.
I don't know. Like, I don't. Gino, could it be a firewall issue?
So what should I do?
Well,
Well,
Lori,
There's a lot you'll be able to do unless you. The one thing I can think of is if it's possible, even you might try mobile hotspot on your phone. But if you're using GFE government furnished equipment, that's probably not going to be possible though.
yeah.
Yeah, are you using Wi-Fi at work? Maybe that's
Yes.
Yeah,
maybe
that could be the issue. That could be an issue. Have you ever been? I don't know where you work, and I'm not going to have you disclose that necessarily here. But have you ever been on the podcast while you was at home, or is the podcast
Yes.
your working hour? Do you have the same issue usually then, or is it just usually when you're at work?
Just at work, it seems.
Oh, then yeah, it could be something
yeah.
strange like that. So.
Okay. Yeah, so
Um,
unfortunately, we won't be able to do this again in the future, then, Lori, because it's just not going to work from your work, and you're at work when we do the show. So,
yeah, we might. There'll be something. Obviously, you can't hear Becca, but you can hear me. So this is Paul speaking to you now. But we might, Becca and Gino and you may have to have a conversation off the podcast. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting that you can hear everyone, but not her. So
Right.
that's definitely
Okay,
unfortunate.
That's correct.
so Gino, since she can't hear me, can you cut her feed so we can have a good show and not have it derailed?
I'll try
by
coming
this?
back in. That's what I'll do.
Okay, that would be good, Lori.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect.
And so while she's doing that, can we continue to discuss the ongoing government shutdown? Does anybody have anything to say about it?
Well, one thing I can say is that Democrats are saying the quiet part out loud by saying that, well, this is the leverage. This is leverage. You know how many of them have already said that? Actually, yes, some people, like I saw quotes online on Facebook. People keep reposting with names of the Democrats saying, I don't know if they mean to be so blunt about it, but they are. They say, yeah, people might be suffering, but this is one of the times we have the leverage. I mean,
Are you kidding? That's crazy.
That's certainly interesting. I just feel like, and I don't know what all I said about it last week. I know we kind of skimmed this topic, but I just, I kind of feel like if all the politicians, wasn't getting paid during this time frame, then, I don't know how long this shutdown really would be, but a lot of them are still getting paid at the very top. And so it's
For sure.
It's
For
something that is frustrating to me because there's people in my life who are federal workers, and they ain't getting no money.
I'm giving a visual thumbs down. Because I'm in agreement with you that it's important. Yeah.
but
So
you
that's
see how much
really all I have to say about that.
has been exposed about this program. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea how many. I knew there was many, but I had no idea how many people were on Snap. Like everybody's freaking out about, we're not gonna have money, we're not gonna have these benefits coming through. But okay, like why is nobody concerned about how many people? Like why do you have 3 million people on Snap? Why?
And then all of the illegals too.
Well,
That's true.
Well,
but I'll point out though. I mean, I do have some sympathy for the single moms and the single dads, and again, I really like Marjorie Taylor Greene's approach. I think that U.S. citizens, if they meet the guidelines and are entitled to it, then they meet the guidelines and they're entitled to it. But I mean, to your specific question though, Anya, I mean, yeah, that does seem like a really large number.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe the requirements need to be changed to be more stringent or more.
Or it has to be a time frame. Like you can't be there generationally.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
can't be on it
True.
forever. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, of course not. Like I'm not asking anybody else to say it, but I'll just say it. I'm blind and I don't get it. I'm not on that program. I'm not eligible for that program, and that's okay. I
I don't
need
get it either.
Do you get it, Anya?
No, never have.
And I don't get food stamps either. So all four of us are blind and we don't get food stamps. So it makes me wonder who is getting food stamps out there? What makes them more eligible than us?
And
That's a good question.
I don't judge those who do. There are people who are really in need. I mean, they're always going to be, in the mix. So when you look at the program like this or something else, and you see how much fraud is going on, like you can't blame everybody. There are people who legitimately needing this help, and it's okay. But we also know that there's a huge amount of fraud going on, and this program has to be completely, I think, disassembled and kind of looked into, like just like they did with Social Security. I think there is probably just as much, if not more, fraud.
Oh, I'll never forget. Do you remember, Anya, or any of you? I'll never ever forget. I think this happened last year, or was it earlier this year? Anyway, there was a lady there was a clerk, that was checking somebody out, and when they checked out, the receipt just automatically prints, from the register, right? And that clerk having to take a photo of the receipt, and that person was obviously not from America. We know that because of the language she was speaking, from her physical appearance and everything. Obviously not a native of this country, not a U.S. citizen, had hundreds of dollars, like $500 worth of food stamp money, plus like 100 or 200 of just walking around cash money. It's like, wow, I wish I would get that. Nice, right? Wow. You can't even speak our language, and you're not even from this country. Like, wow. What's wrong?
Wow.
Yeah, I hear stories like that a lot too. I mean,
American.
No, but we saw it. That lady took a photo. It wasn't just hearsay. We actually saw the photo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, America always has been a very generous country, but it's gotten way out of hand. Way out of hand. And our government officials are supporting so much of the rest of the world on the backs of the American taxpayers, and I'm so fed up with it.
Me too.
Yeah, but what bothers me a lot about this particular case with SNAP is that people are acting like this emergency situation. Like, SNAP was never meant to be the main source of income for somebody. It's even like it's supplemental. People need to look at the acronym, what it stands for. And I know a lot of blind people who are on SNAP. I know a lot of people who legitimately qualify for that, who cannot work for whatever reason or something else. But there's
I said what I said earlier about not being on it, lest anybody think me hypocritical. Oh, that's rich. You're a blind person, and saying that talking about the food stamp program, you probably all get food stamps. Well, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I don't get it, and I don't need it.
No. We may only be 4 people, but we are a random selection of blind people. And I think that says a lot that none of the 4 of us get food stamps, right? Like, so who is getting food stamps if not disabled people, I wonder?
But that's a problem. Lots of people who are just freaking lazy, or they have kids from different baby daddies, and it does happen. And
now you said the quiet part out loud. That's awesome. That is awesome.
You know me, Brandon. I'll say anything what I think.
Good for you, Anya.
I mean, seriously, it does happen, and it makes people who legitimately need help look bad. Not them, but just the whole program look bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with this. Another thing that I've been hearing, I saw like a clip of different TikTok, like when they put together like different videos
Like a mirage or a
yeah, exactly. Thank you. And some people are threatening, oh, if we're not getting our food stamps, we're just gonna go to the grocery store and we're just gonna load our cart and go, and they're not gonna catch us all. Or we can rob you right in a parking lot. Like, whoa.
I've seen those too, and I think it's disgraceful. It's despicable.
Well, people who say things like that they would steal from the grocery store, they probably already have been,
yeah.
Because honest person would not be saying something like that. It's not the grocery store's fault.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. No, but I find it very distasteful, the brazenness that with which they're saying these things. I mean, so you're just going to admit that you're going to commit a crime. I mean, we can see you, right? I mean, have you heard of facial recognition? I mean, you're doing it from your TikTok or your YouTube. Like, we can find your account. Ever heard of IP tracing? Like, I mean, you're just gonna admit that? Like, I hope they come and lock you up, like, or at least question you at the bare minimum.
For sure.
Well, that's another issue. I mean, if people were held accountable for their actions, but Democrat-run cities, they prefer to let the criminals out.
Like all the smash and grabs, and they've been saying like a lot of places, a lot of states, or at least communities, the law enforcement won't respond unless it's like at least $1,000 theft.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's correct.
Grabs and shit.
I think we had a proposition that our governor could sign here in California a few weeks ago, where it basically said people should be charged more. Because as it stands now, or as it stood before, if it was $1,000, you'd be charged. But if it wasn't $1,000 worth of damages, then you wouldn't be. And overwhelmingly, before they was even able to count the votes up, I think 80% of the votes they determined already said this proposition needs to pass, because we're tired of stuff getting, just California residents was tired of stuff getting stolen, and so I was really happy to see that. Now, what Governor Newsom did with that, admittedly, I have not followed up, but it was very interesting to see that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just not sustainable. I mean, I've been known to rail against corporate fat cats like Walmart and even Amazon, but even I'll say that, I mean, that's not sustainable long term. You can't. I mean, and to actually codify a policy like that into law. Oh, well, you only stole $950 worth of stuff. You're fine. We'll let it go.
So wait till tomorrow. Go again tomorrow.
What?
I said, yeah, let's do it today. Do it today for 150. I mean, 950. Go tomorrow and go tomorrow and go tomorrow. Yeah.
Because I think it's per day, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Think about what a great living criminals could make in those communities where that's the law. Every day they just go steal $950 worth of merchandise and they sell it. And yeah, that's pretty good living, almost $1,000 a day.
That's incredible living as far as I'm concerned.
That is incredible.
I mean, to me, theft is theft. Either it's $1 or $1,000. I mean, maybe charge should be different. Like, your punishment should be different, but it's still a charge.
Yeah, but you say to you it's a theft and a crime, but to some it's their way they go to work. In their own minds, they rationalize it like that. Like,
I know.
I'm entitled to this because I'm going and getting it. Whatever.
No, that's really messed up.
It is messed up.
Well, I hope Paul is right. I hope something passes there, because it's not okay.
Yeah, admittedly, I haven't followed up on that. But I have seen police in my small little town arrest people from Walmart. We was a friend of mine, and I was at Walmart one time, and we seen a guy get arrested. And, I think it looked like, from what we could see, there was a cop arresting him, and it was kind of funny to hear, because the guy was saying, "Oh, I'm a good person. I'd never steal." Well, obviously, the way, they catch people is, they steal and they keep on doing it. And eventually Walmart, or whoever's going to see who that person is, they're going to recognize it. And, you do it one too many times, and eventually they'll call the cops. Now, whatever happened to him, was he let out immediately? We don't know, but we did get to see it happen, so it was kind of interesting.
Doesn't he realize there's cameras at the store that he can be seen taking out the
Well,
stuff?
I think
But they
that,
don't care.
yeah, I don't know. If you steal that much and it looked like he was a repeat offender, it's one of those things where I don't know how much that matters so much. So
Paul, you live in California?
I
Have you
do.
been to Disneyland?
I have only been to Southern California once, and that was a few weeks ago, and I did not go to Disneyland, so I've never been.
Oh,
Admittedly, I'm going to crush a lot of people's hopes and dreams who are listening to this podcast, particularly, but I have no desire to go to Disney World or Disneyland.
oh.
I'm with you. I wouldn't go either.
Oh,
I never have.
I've been to Disney World several times in Florida.
Disney World. I took my two sons to Disney World one time, and honestly, I never got to go to Disneyland when I was a child, and so I wanted to take my kids, and I took them, but I really feel like it's overrated, right? At least as a blind person, I really don't feel like I got my money's worth. I feel like it was like a lot of hassle for very little enjoyment that the kids and I got to have that day.
Yeah, everything costs so much too, and
yeah,
that's true. It does,
and that's
just
like
$200 a ticket now almost.
Yeah, and that's just to get in the gate, and then you got to.
That's
pay
right.
For food and stuff too. Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, that doesn't even include food. No, it doesn't.
No. So, no, never been to Disneyland. Never been to Disney World. I'm just not.
I went to Disneyland when I was 3 years old, and I don't remember it too well. But I went to Disney World when we went to on the NFB conventions.
Well, it's interesting to me that I know former coworkers of mine and people I still know who are obsessed with Disney and love Disney, and so be it. But a lot of people have asked me, "Don't you want to go?" I go, "No, not really." I mean, look, if the opportunity, I guess, presented itself, and someone said we're going to Disneyland, and there was a whole bunch of friends of mine, I guess I'd have to find friends before that could happen. But if that was to in fact happen, then I guess I would go. But if I was to go by myself and someone says, "You want to go to Disneyland?" I'd probably just say, "Nah, I'd rather go to."
Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages. Hi, it's me, Rebecca S. Meadows, the author, with my new book, Living on Borrowed Time, The Ravings of an Angry Survivor of Traumatic Brain Injury and Guardianship Abuse. It's available on Kindle Digital Download, Amazon Print on Demand, and on Audible. Please go check it out. And now, back to the show. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying with us during the break. Do we want to keep talking about that, or does anybody else have any other topics to talk about?
Lori, do you have a topic? I never heard you bring it up. Any topic? Do you have a topic?
Oh, well, I can bring up a topic. Lori, if that's what you'd like me to do.
Lori, did you want to tell us about the president and the NFB's presidential release this month? Did you have a chance to listen to it?
I had a chance to listen to part of it. It did talk about Blindness Equality Achievement Month, which was this month, which was about promoting blindness in our community and doing various activities to show our blindness skills. And even today, the East Valley is doing an activity where they are walking to a restaurant after using the light rail train.
Great.
Oh, was it today? The release was today?
Yes, that was today. And then
the presidential release was released earlier this month, but she's talking about an event that was talked about on the presidential release that is actually, I believe, today.
Yeah, that's right. And so, the event wasn't talked about, but it goes along with what was talked about.
Oh, okay.
So it also did talk about White Cane Awareness Day, which was also on October 15th, where we show how we use our canes in the community.
Yeah, October is actually Meet the Blind Month. So there's all kinds of great activities throughout the month of November.
That's correct, in October.
Or October, yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Now, Mark Riccobono still is the president of the NFB?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There did not seem to be a lot of enthusiasm there when I just asked that question,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
which is
no,
interesting.
no, I was just answering your question.
Okay.
Yeah, like yeah, Mark is still the president, I believe, and
Yes, he is.
I think he was elected in 2014 because I think it was my first convention
Yes.
that he was elected at, and that was in
That's
2014.
correct.
So he's been president for over 10 years,
That's right.
and I
Time
wonder
flies.
what kind of growth the NFB has had in that time and what's been achieved.
Well, I know he did the blind driver challenge. I want to say in 2011.
11, I think.
When
Yeah.
he
Yes, that's
drove
correct.
the car around, what was it,
Yes.
Daytona International Speedway, I want to say.
That's correct. Yes.
And
Yeah.
That was quite well known at that time. Yes.
Yes, it was.
What were you saying, Paul?
And
I'm so sorry.
no, you're fine. And I just remember listening to that from another website, which I won't mention, but I remember hearing a lot about it and listening to the press conference and the press coverage on that, and later, actually, being that I was raised in Alaska, if the listeners of the podcast don't recall or have only just been tuning in this show, I was raised in Alaska, and actually, I want to say 2 years later or so, Mark Riccobono came to the Alaska NFB state convention. So it was
cool.
really, interesting to meet him. I had a chance to meet him and talk to him a little bit about it because I'm a big car guy, or I like cars. So I was able to talk to him, and then while we was eating, he did a big keynote speech about his experience with it, and it was interesting to talk to him. So it was interesting. So
for our viewers' information, if you go to YouTube and search Blind Driver Challenge, you can watch an audio described video of Mark Riccobono driving his car on the Daytona Speedway. I really enjoy the video, even as a blind person, because like I said, it's audio described and it's quite inspirational to watch. I've shared with a lot of people, hey, go check it out. Like I'll be in a lift, I'll be telling the driver about it. So I'll refer him or her to go look at it, and they'll go watch it. They'll be like, wow, it's really great.
Have you guys driven a car?
What?
Have you guys driven a car?
So I'm from Montana originally, and when we had our first state convention, because the Montana affiliate is a baby affiliate, they're like one of the newest affiliates. When we had our first state convention, Mark actually brought his car to Montana and gave rides in his car.
Oh, wow.
State convention.
What was he driving? You remember? Very important question.
I couldn't see the car, but I got to ride in it. I remember riding in it.
Okay. I had to ask.
I have driven. My wife actually taught me to drive, but then you know what? I did one bad job parallel parking, and she banned me thereafter. So it's like, oh, come on. Come on.
I drove once. My ex-husband took me driving one time. Our first car was a silver Chevy Malibu, a 2000, and when we first went up to see my parents in north central Montana, there were gravel roads up there. So he took me driving on an old gravel road. But my oldest son was a baby at the time, and he was sleeping in his car seat in the back seat. And so I was really scared I was going to wreck the car and hurt my baby. So I drove like a little old lady down that gravel road. Dude, if I had the chance to do it today, I'd put the pedal to the metal, zoom down that gravel road.
I would too.
Especially because my vision's a lot better now.
But I think that maybe I don't drive for a reason, because I think I would be very impatient driver. I'll be one who will be honking at people. I'll be the one who'll show middle finger and yell at what are you doing, idiot, and stuff like that. So,
and I would be going very slow and just being patient with all the other drivers. But I will add that
I just tried to drive normal, right? And what I noticed, like everybody notices, I think when you start learning to drive, is how unconsciously incompetent I started out being, and then how much conscious competence I had to maintain. It took a lot of mental energy. I'm like, oh, and I was like listening to everything, like really focused, and I wasn't relaxed at all. But I did well overall.
I've never really had the experience of really driving, like seriously operating a vehicle. Like I said, just that one time. I wonder if there's a driving simulator that blind people can use. You know,
that's
like
a good idea.
They have those simulators for different things, like flying jets and stuff. I wonder if there's something like that for driving that blind people can try.
Lori, was you about to say something?
What?
I was just gonna say that if you go to nfb.org, you can learn more about what's going on in the blindness community for the National Federation of the Blind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, Lori.
Yeah, I've driven a little bit in a few parking lots, but I've mostly just driven on auditory video or racing games for the blind. Haven't really had much of an opportunity to drive on gravel roads or anything like that. So I haven't had maybe some of the opportunities y'all have, but had a few opportunities to do it. And one time I hit a curb and asked my friend if the car was okay, and he said it was fine. So I guess I wasn't going that fast.
Well, that's good.
Well, when I was at CCB, the Colorado Center for the Blind, they actually took us to the driving school. It was one of those activities we did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, my.
They would give you a driver, like person who sits next to you. Like, what do you call those? Like, the not the teacher. What do you call those? There's a word for it. And a driving,
like an instructor.
Yeah, kind of instructor. What they would normally give to any person who is learning to drive. So they gave us a little lecture at first, explaining how car works, because not everybody knew,
Yeah.
The wheel and all the parts, and how things are done. So kind of theoretical part. And then we went for a drive. I remember I was driving some Toyota.
So did they let you guys feel the car? So you guys knew what the tires and stuff looked like and all of that?
Well, I didn't even ask because I had known. I mean,
because you knew, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I knew how it looked. So for me, it was not. For me, it was more like behind the wheel. I had never been behind the wheel, so
neither have I.
Let alone to actually turn it on and press gas pedal or
Did you do it though? Did you drive?
Oh, hell yeah, I did.
Yeah. All right.
That's great.
Yeah, it was very. I still have a video of it somewhere.
I think I have a video of mine too.
The way you learned, Anya, is more the way that I learned too. See, that's how my wife was training me too. She was in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
And we came up with a system. I don't remember all the intricacies of it now, but yeah, that the way you learned and the way I learned was very similar.
Yeah,
they used to have a thing in New York. Gosh, I don't recall what it was called, but it was to raise money for Campabilities in New York. I don't know if y'all are aware of what that is, but that's a sports camp for the blind and visually impaired. And they used to have a little situation where there was these blind people would have sighted people in the passenger seat, and the sighted people would direct them, and they would race. They would race actual cars, and it would to raise money for Campabilities. And it's unfortunately it no longer exists because there was a person who kind of bought out the track or bought out the organization that it was a part of and kind of ran it into the ground from what I heard. But yeah, that would have been something I would have definitely been interested in, because there was people who won, and people would pay money to watch that. And granted, as a blind person, blind or sighted, I'd pay money to watch that because you didn't know what would happen. And people asked, have people ever got hurt or anything like that? And people have said, the only people who've really gotten hurt are people who've tried to stop the blind driver from making too sharp of a turn, and they get their thumb stuck in the steering wheel or something, and that's really the most hurt people have been. But there was practice involved and things like that. And I don't remember what kind of cars that they was driving, but that would have been a real neat thing. And I remember I asked one of the ladies who ran Campabilities, the sports camp, and asked her about it, and yeah, it was something that they'd done for a few years, but unfortunately it's defunct now and isn't in operation. But that would have been something really exciting for me to do.
Well, I can say, Paul, living out in California where you do, I used to live out there too, and so there may yet be hope. And this kind of ties into what I'll talk about in a little bit. That being the need and importance of advocacy when you're blind. But for California, just as a whole, speaking in general, there's a lot of long coastline out there. So I think there could be a course or something made even where you're at. Because California, there are still some parts of it that are pretty beautiful, and there's a lot of long stretches of shoreline, coastline, that where a track could be made or something. So,
Well, I have a question for you, Paul. So you seem to talk a lot about cars. You have some collection. You like cars. So, and if I'm not mistaken, you told us last time that you're blind since birth, right? So I don't know, like. So my question is like, what is your passion? What does your passion for cars come from? Like, I know that a side of people because they see it, that they see the models, like the colors, the features, all that stuff. Because you're the second person who I've met who actually enjoys cars who is blind.
Well, I'd be curious before I answer the question. And that is a good question, actually. I'm only asking this. I'm only asking this question so I can stall and think of a good answer. But what was the answer that what was the answer that your other blind friend gave you?
Well, the thing is, he is not completely blind. He has a little bit of vision, so I think it plays into it a lot. He's legally blind, and his brother would drive. He himself bought a car, so his brother could drive him. And my husband and I went to the car show a few years ago. It was right after COVID. And I wrote him a message like, look, we're going to this car show. And do you want some pics, like videos or something? He's like, oh, yes, please do. And, we took a bunch of photos, like cars from the 1920s and some different cool cars.
Oh, that's cool.
He was very excited to see them. But again, like I said, I think the fact that he can see some plays into that. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I think, when I was a little kid, I think there was a few events that kind of cemented my interest in automobiles. And one of them was kind of an interesting story. And if my parents or my sister ever hears this podcast, I do apologize in advance. But my sister was getting married at our church, or I beg your pardon. She had eloped, and then she was having a reception at the church. And so she had, the rehearsal the day before, and then the actual big reception for everyone to see. Well, during the wedding rehearsal, we're kids. We don't want to be at some boring wedding rehearsal. No offense, my sister.
Right.
We don't want to be there. I'm 7 years old. So we decided we want to go, and we decided we want to go into the gym because the church had a gym. So we go into the gym, and there's a basketball hoop, and so people start playing basketball. But then we decided to go in the back of the gym, and in the back of the gym was these old arcade games. And so we thought we would see if they would work. And now some of the games, it was like the old style arcade games. This was, I'm going to date myself here. I'm not as old or as young as some might think, but this was in the early 2000s. And so these old arcade games, and there was a racing game that had a seat and the pedals. And if you drove manual, it had a stick shift and it had a steering wheel. And I thought it was super, super fascinating. But one of the games that nobody wanted to play was a game called Rally Racer. And I don't know if someone showed me how to use it or if I just seen there was one pedal, one steering wheel, and you'd stand up. You'd stand up and play the game, press the pedal with your right hand and spin the wheel. And so everyone would be playing the other car game or shooting basketball hoops. And I was obsessed with the game. I loved the sound of the car. And, if you let go of the accelerator, the car would downshift or the car would decelerate. And if you press the pedal, it would accelerate. And I thought it was just the most interesting thing I had ever heard in my entire life. And so, unfortunately, sister, I don't remember much of the reception, but I do remember that.
Well, that's a good story.
So
that was a good story with a delightfully adult sounding ending. So
okay. No, but so and then we had a track up in Alaska. I think I'd been to it once. I don't remember if it was a dirt track or asphalt, and that'll bore everyone to tears who's listening, so I won't get into all that. But we actually had some of the race car drivers come to our church, and for children's church one Sunday, they spoke and we could ask them questions, and we went outside and got to see their car. And this was around the same time frame. I don't remember if it was after or before the wedding. I just remember the wedding situation, but it was around the same time frame. And they because I couldn't see, actually let me sit in the car, and somewhere there might be pictures of that. And so that was also really quite a thrill for me. When it comes down to racing in cars, I've been to a few NASCAR tracks. I'm a big NASCAR fan. And as Anya mentioned earlier, I do have a diecast car collection for those of you who are listening. And so I'm a big race fan. And so I've been very blessed to be able to get to see, different tracks and be able to sit in a stock car before at the Kansas Speedway. That was a great opportunity. Never got to ride in one just yet. That opportunity has eluded me, unfortunately, but I've been very blessed to be able to go to Kansas Speedway a couple of times, as well as Sonoma Raceway here we have in California. So I don't know, the bugs just never left.
Well, that's cool.
Sorry for the long-winded answer.
Yes.
No, I mean,
it's a good answer.
If you wouldn't have let me stall,
Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Why don't they have blind people sections at sporting events? Why do I gotta pay the same price to not see shit? Okay? The Jumbotron ain't even built for me.
I am the business manager here at the Visually Impaired School of Arizona.
I see you brought the film crew. Make sure you get my good side.
All right, settle down and get focused on your tasks.
I teach the art of cuisine, child.
You wanna know what the problem, the biggest problem in the blind community? It's you sighted people.
Just take a look over here.
Yeah, I don't know where that is, man.
Okay, you all need to turn off those cameras and just leave the building.
Wait, Joe, hold on.
Oh, on your right.
You're on the right.
How would you know that the men you're dating are black?
No, this is not card member services. This is the Visually Impaired School of Arizona.
Gigi, where are his pants?
I don't know.
Billy doesn't work here. He basically came with the building.
I can be the very first mayor of Blind Sylvania.
Make Blind America great again.
There goes my pie.
This happens every day?
No,
Sometimes.
of course not.
Hey guys, isn't that what we're all trying to do? Make Blind America great again?
Yeah.
I love that line from the show. I love that line from the show. It's just great.
Well, I know Donald Trump is in Asia this week, but I really think when he gets back to America, he really needs to focus on America. I'm not being critical of the president, but
well, I think you're right.
His ability is declining. So
it's declining? You said his likability?
Favorability. And it's great. You're starting to deal with South Korea, that's great. You're ending all these foreign wars, that's great. It is great. It really is. But it's like, you know what, man? People here on Main Street need your support too, dude. So
yeah, people back home.
He's doing it not just because he wants to be involved in other countries' matters. He does it with America in mind. How doing all these deals, trying to see how this could benefit us.
Well, but for example, I just think it would do him good to send messaging such as, okay, Donald, if we're doing so well with the revenue from tariffs, why can't we use some of that to offset this whole SNAP debacle, right? And I do think that there are some people in the White House that have been talking about that, but it hasn't been very prominent, But he always says, if it weren't for tariffs, we'd be in a world of hurt right now. We have so much money from tariffs, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. And it's like, okay, well, if that's true, I'm not saying it's not true. I don't know, but if it's true, then let's use some of that money for Americans.
Thereby taking pressure off the Democrats. I mean, Democrats needs to be pressured into giving in.
No. He could say, just like he said with the ballroom at the White House. I know he's getting lambasted for that. which I think is crazy. No, but he could also say, America, despite what the liberal left lunatics are doing, this is what I'm going to do as your president, and because we are going to make America healthy again, and have RFK Jr. there too.
Amen.
That'd be amazing.
It would.
Well, again, Trump is president. He is not a king, unlike what somebody likes to say. But he's not the one who decides on the budget. He signs it, so it still belongs to Congress to decide this. So I don't know how he would offer tariffs money or whatever you say. I mean, Congress needs to resolve it one way or the other.
Wouldn't it be rich if he floated that plane and they shot it down while they're still getting a paycheck? Wouldn't that be rich?
Well, yeah.
I would.
Speaking of these No King marches, do you guys know anybody personally that's been involved who's gone to these No King marches and participated in them?
Oh yeah,
I don't.
I do. I know.
I do not. But I
Me
know.
neither.
All
I
about
don't know.
None of my personal friends have. My handyman said that his mother went to a No Kings march. Now, my handyman is a guy. He's total conservative. He loves Trump, so he thinks his mom is crazy for going to the No Kings rallies. But
probably a white, neurotic, middle-aged woman. That's one.
Yeah, it's totally what she is. Yeah.
My thing is, though, again, back to the topic of advocacy, which I still haven't really delved into where blindness is concerned, but. If you're there for a sincerely held, genuine, and authentic belief, that's one thing. But we know that a lot of these people, major swaths of these people, hundreds of thousands of them probably, are being funded by people like George Soros. Their signs are all the same. What they're wearing is exactly the same. The slogans they're chanting are exactly the same. I mean, verbatim, exactly the same. That's not organic. You don't even know. And I've seen lots of mock-ups where somebody will say, "Why are you protesting?" And they're like, because I just thought I'd show up and see what this is about. Like I was told to be here, and so yeah." It's like, okay, you didn't even answer the question. You have no idea why you're even here, obviously.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, literally. A lot of them don't even know why they're at the protest, but they're holding.
Yeah, no, I mean that is just too insane. Like the whole even name for the protest is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, who wants to listen to the party who cannot tell president from a king and men from a woman? I mean, come on.
I think I mentioned this last week, but the only thing I'll really say about it is if you're going to peacefully protest, I have no problem with that. I really don't. It's when it doesn't become peaceful is when I really take issue. And, whether I agree or don't agree with the protests happening, that is their constitutional right? That's what we have in America.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
That's true.
And so that's all I'm really going to say on that.
Yeah, but the fact that they can protest does speak volumes to the fact that we don't have a king.
Right.
I mean, so what's the freaking point of calling it a king, no king protest?
Well, it looks to me like there's certain groups of people in our country who've decided that they enjoy complaining, and so they'll demonstrate against anything that's out there.
No kidding.
I've never heard it put that way, but
That's very interesting.
I think there's a lot of people that enjoy complaining, whether it's a political thing or whether it's, the food at this restaurant sucks,
Yeah. When those people, when all they can do is complain and they never offer any solutions, and you notice that they're always complaining, they're always in a really bad situation and nothing ever gets better for them. Like those kind of people just drive me crazy.
Because it's
How can you
circular.
be so negative? Yeah.
They're complaining.
I know.
They keep complaining. But I agree with Becca. I mean, now, they going apeshit about Trump remodeling, fits in the White House.
The ballroom. He's building a ballroom.
No.
I know. It's crazy that he's building that.
It's not so much newsworthy. When I heard it, okay, cool. Moving on. But no, these people just go. I even commented on somebody's Facebook. I said, it must be really tough to be a Democrat because you constantly worry about something like.
Well, you know what? Since Trump is paying to build that ballroom, I think after he's out of office, if the Democrats use it, I think he should charge them rent.
That's not gonna happen.
No, it probably won't.
Well, and that's why I proposed a solution, that could likely end this whole snap debacle. Let's see about if we can use some of the revenue from the tariffs. Right. I'm not all doomy gloomy. I'm not. But I don't like seeing idiocy and vapidness. You don't even know why you're protesting. You can't define your arguments. You just repeat slogans that you're fed from some corporate funneler of money. Like, that's insincere. It's inauthentic. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are intellectually lazy. They don't want to do research, and there are a lot of sophistry going on online.
I think, though, if you have people who are hardcore Trump fans or hardcore conservatives, and you have people who are hardcore liberals, hardcore Democrats, hardcore Republicans, I think for some of them, I've certainly talked to people on both sides where, some of them that are hard, why are you the way that you are? Why do you vote the way you vote? And they can't answer that question. And so I think that on the extreme side of things, you really do have, I think, a lot of people who may go to these events or vote the way that they do, and they may not always they don't have an answer. And that is frustrating to me on either side, that you don't have an answer.
Excuse me? We don't have an answer. I can give you an answer right now.
No, I mean, I'm not referring to necessarily you, but I mean, I've certainly talked
to a
lot of people.
You said hardcore conservatives, so hardcore Trumpists. I can identify as hardcore Trumpists.
No, but I mean, I'm referring to there have been Trump supporters or people that I've spoken to who do vote, that way or other ways, and they don't have a reason for why they vote the way that they vote. And I think that that's a concern to me, because I want to know, and you should know, why you vote the way that you vote.
Yeah, I agree.
I've never met anybody who
I'm on my show, Sean. Can you walk the dogs? Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 5:50 p.m.
I'll be done in 10 minutes, Sean. So I'll be done when you get back.
Yeah, I actually have met people who vote a specific way and don't know why.
Are you taking them for a walk?
That was funny the way you said that, Paul. And when Becca said that, it was like she was shocked that you had heard people like that.
Okay, thanks. I'll be done in like 10 minutes.
I guess someone's going to take your dogs for a walk.
Hey guys, sorry, my handyman's here to walk my dogs, so I was talking to him.
Aw.
Well, guys, I just want to say really quick, it is important, especially if you are blind, to advocate for yourself. So I've been having to light fires this week, metaphorically speaking. I want to make that clear, but I really have, because I'm really getting.
Tell us what kind of fires you've been lighting.
Well, yes. I don't have a lot of time, but I feel like I've really been getting short shrift from people who, on paper and even out loud say that they're on my side and, we're here to support the blind and da-da-da-da-da-da, but it's like, nope, I'm not going to fall through the cracks. So basically, long story short, I texted my counselor. He didn't say anything the day that I texted him. He called me the following day, said blah, 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 yada, yada. Really, it was a very, very non-productive conversation. So I called an instructor who called the coordinator, who both got on his case as well as me. So yeah, it's like, no, you're not going to forget me. And I'm the same guy out in California who really took Comcast to task, and I had to get like a regional manager to come to my house. And it's like, look, I'm sorry that I had to do this. I didn't want to have to do this, but you know what? I'm glad you're here, Mr. Regional Manager, because I feel like I'm being isolated. I feel like I'm being segregated and, and discriminated against, and I don't like it. And I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to stand for it. You say one thing and do another, that's not okay. So I'm telling you, if you are blind, it's important to advocate for yourself. I think you should try to be as civil as possible. But I just advocacy is really important because society continues to mischaracterize us a lot.
I agree with Brandon wholeheartedly, you guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
but are you talking about like rehab services or like what
I am. In my case right now, I am, yeah.
does that have to do with your program? What do you call that program? Jeez.
Well, I'm working on getting into the business enterprise program.
Yes,
Yes, it absolutely does. Yeah. But I mean, it's things like, for example, when I talked to my counselor earlier, he's like, I don't know if I have a copy of your fingerprint clearance card, and it's like I'm thinking in my head, dude, I sent that to you over a month ago. But I said to him, well, double check, and if you don't have it, let me know because I can resend it to you. But I know I sent it to him, and I know that because he said that he would reimburse me for that, but never did. So it's like, oh well.
Yeah, that's
Oh dear.
the lack of.
But you see what I'm saying. You see, this is why it's important to advocate. It's like, no, you're not going to forget about me.
Yeah, the lack of reliability and consistency with voc rehab is a huge problem.
Well, see, but that's a program that is supposed to support.
Oh yes.
People.
Excuse me. That's another thing we're being asked to do is to reach out to our senators to advocate for the for blindness programs because they're trying to do away with some of the programs under the Education Act.
Right. Okay.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Glad you mentioned that. So I could.
But that's been an ongoing, forever problem, I think.
Right, but it's an ongoing one right now because of the shutdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some interesting things happening because of that. I would just say, and I know we're fixing it in this, but the thing I always tell people is, just individuals on an individual scale. I always tell people, hey, if you have questions, there ain't no question that's too personal. I've been asked quite a few questions by kids and that kind of a thing. And so I've been asked some strange questions, and I'm sure we all have, and maybe that'll be a topic for another day. But I always tell people, if there's something you don't know, ask me. I'm pretty open. I'll give you an answer. And I know not everybody views blindness that way, but that's kind of how I view it. Because you don't know what you don't know. And then you have generations of people who walk around with these misconceptions or these myths about how blind people are, or how they behave, and what have you, and they're just not true. And so I always tell people, ask, and some people are really, really open to it, and some people, get scared, or some people, shoo their kids away when they see me, or when a kid goes, hey, mommy, why does that person have a stick? And they go, shh. And it's like, no, go ahead. That kid needs to know. If they don't know, they're never going to know. And, there's an opportunity for someone who is blind, or, really whatever it is that people don't know about, take that opportunity to learn. And so that's what I always tell people.
Yeah, but
I still agree with
companies, though, know better and are just mean. Here's looking at you, HBO. They didn't want to add descriptive audio. HBO, you know how much money they have, and they didn't want to do it. So, but they were convinced to do it.
I don't disagree with you on. There are companies and that I've experienced as well who aren't interested in making things accessible, which I find a little interesting.
Well, that's so egregious to me, especially when you are a extremely well-known company, highly profitable. It's like, don't tell me you can't do it.
Well, they have their priorities, and unfortunately, we are
yeah,
not.
well, so do I. So do I. So let's unite and make our voices heard, blind people. Come on.
But we represent only such a tiny segment of the population, whereas for them,
you know what? I think that could be said of a lot of other different populations as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't want to hear it.
Neither do they. Well, I'm not advocating for them at all.
Anya, you are so funny. Yeah. They don't want to hear it either. So.
Yeah, but the thing is, they often get more recognition. Think of how many things have captions but no audio description.
Oh, back when I was in
Oh,
high
it's different when
school,
I put it like that, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Come on, blind people. Let's
the
unite and make our voices heard.
the closed captioning versus audio description, I agree with you. I think everything is available with closed captioning now. Everything, it seems like, but there's not there's very few things that have audio description.
That's so true.
Well, and somebody had to. I don't want to hit. Somebody had to sit down and write those captions. So it's like, well, you did that for them.
Maybe now AI does it. I don't know.
Is the closed captioning where you see when you watch a video or a movie and it talks about a
puts the
certain
words
part?
on the screen. It puts the words on the screen for deaf people to read.
Oh, it does.
So they
see. I shouldn't get into this, but I don't watch a lot of movies or TV or have any streaming platforms of any kind when it comes down to video or TV. So I had no idea that was a thing. I mean, I've heard of it, but I didn't know what it was. So I learned something today.
Yeah, I'm not into movies or TV shows or anything like that either.
Oh, but it's even on commercials, you guys. Even commercials have closed captions.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
When I was at the deaf and blind school, when I was in high school, I was like, I'd sit in the dorm room in the afternoon and be watching TV. And I remember this one deaf girl named Laura. She would come in and she couldn't talk, so she couldn't communicate with me and tell me what she was about to do. So she'd walk up and she'd change the channel. And every day I'd start to react, right? And then I'd remember, oh, she's putting it on closed captioning for her, because back then in the early 90s, they didn't have closed captioning on everything like they do now automatically. Back then there was a special machine that the TV was hooked up to, and so the deaf girls could put the TV like on, I think it was channel 3 or 4, and then the machine would be set on the TV channel they wanted to watch, and it would give them the closed captioning information. Alexa, stop. Are you guys still there?
Yep, we're all
here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's
all here.
Is everybody ready to wrap up the show?
Sure.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Great. Thanks for joining us this evening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Blind View. You can email at becca76@gmail.com, and please join us next week. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.